Okay, so welcome back to UFOs Above Us. All right, today is July 27th, and I thought I'd look at a photograph I took of the moon. Um, and there's one particular object that I find interesting in this photograph. This is the original photograph that I took here, and the object is right here above this crater, right in this area. So we'll look at the original photograph, and then we'll look at a picture that I kind of sharpened and tried to enhance. But here's the original one zoomed in. And if you look, you can see the first thing that caught my eye is the shape of that crater. See how it's kind of an oblong, strange shape? So that's what caught my eye when I was observing the moon. And then this area right above it looked strange to me. And I said, I'm not sure what that is. So it was something I knew I wanted to investigate, which I have. And it does not look naturally occurring in any sense. Right there in the center, you can see a white ball, a 3D looking globe, dome, probably a dome. And then you can see things projecting off of it, and you don't see them as well in this photograph. The next one I think does a better job, but look at that triangular thing shooting up straight up from that object. And you see it, and it's got kind of a dark triangle at the top of a large triangle. Here, zoom in and you can see it better. So see that thing I'm talking about there? Isn't that unusual? So I don't know for sure what it is, but when we jump to the enhanced photograph, it's a little easier to see. So let me go ahead and pull this one up. Okay, let me go ahead and show you this one zoomed in. All right, and I think you'll notice right away, isn't that a lot sharper? And by the way, some other things come out in this photograph we'll look at in a second, but there's the crater. And when I zoom on in, it's, to me, very clear that that's a intelligently designed object right there above it. So if you look at that crater, maybe not even a crater, but you look at the object above it, something is very strange is going on with that. So let's study it a little closer here. So you can see the triangle jutting up from it, and you can see these what looks almost like legs kind of anchoring it down into the surface of the moon. And I got to tell you, what those legs and that thing jutting up, triangular thing jutting up, remind me of. Have you ever looked at an oil platform? In Texas here at our Gulf Coast, we've got a lot of those out in the ocean, and I've looked at them. It sure reminds me a lot of that. Everything about this except for that globe, that I don't know what that would be. But, the question I want to ask the YouTube audience, do you really believe that would be a naturally occurring item? I mean, look at it. What is the dark area at the top of that? I don't know either. Look at that. So, very unusual object. I don't know what it is, and a lot of these I don't know what they are, but I certainly, from looking at it, can tell it's not natural. Just like that object right there I just framed. Looks rectangular and almost looks like some kind of a entrance or gateway to me. But that's not all there is here. I mean, if you look at this closely, there's a lot of things up here that I see in the sharpened picture. And you can't make them out like that right there. Those both look connected by that kind of arching thing there. And I studied this area quite a bit, and I was hoping to get a better view of that. But unfortunately, when I'm photographing the moon with the telescope, I've got a real fine adjustment knob, but I have to pick one area of the picture that I focus sharpest on. And the area I picked, frankly, is the area with that object right by the crater. So this other stuff, I just noticed it afterwards. This is really what I was after. So I sharpened the focus on that. And then as you get further and further away from that point, obviously your focus is going to be less sharp, which is what we have here. So interesting objects, and I doubt YouTube will do them justice, but there's certainly, if you study that, you'll see some other things in this photograph. At least I did. But this is the main one I wanted to get across. So you've got this odd looking crater, quote unquote. We don't know if it's really a crater, with these weird things around it. But in particular, that main object, I mean, that triangular object there is interesting as well. But I was mainly focusing on that object just to the north at like 12 o'clock to that crater. So for UFOs above us, this is Matt, and as I always say, keep watching those skies. Hey, the answers we're looking for are up there, and we need to know the truth.